Hey, everybody. Good morning. This is Matt Bogosian. If you wouldn't mind putting your name and affiliation in chat so everyone knows who is on the call. I'm doing that right now. As you know, it is 11:30 on the East Coast, 10:30 in the Heartland, 9:30 Mountain Time, and 8:30 on the Pacific Coast. And this is AMCC's 30-minute Monday morning national call of regional leaders and BFFs focused on strengthening the American manufacturing ecosystem bottom up. In key industries, we talk about on this call, defense, energy, transportation, ag, IT, health, all moving towards sustainable development in America. My name is Matt Bogosian, Executive Director of the American Manufacturing Communities Collaborative. And we are partnered with the Economic Development Administration and so many other BFFs and regions around the country. And this is one of our ways we get the message out with this weekly 30-minute call. It augments our AMCC update newsletter that goes out every week. And it's a consistent, contact with news and info. Went out on Friday, usually goes out on Friday. And it's packed with info on regional competitions. Our operations director, David Van Sicklen, really takes the laboring oar and putting that together. So if you have news or information that needs to get out, please contact David and share that information so that we can put that in there and get the words out. Sharing best practices, opportunities, challenges, that's what it's all about. And you can see in last week's AMCC update, we have the Tech Hub competition that's out there, the Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program competition that's out there, the EDA Build to Scale competition. And then IEDC has this Economic Recovery Corps Fellowship Program out there. So there's going to be 65 funded fellows around the country. So we're looking at, AMCC is looking at putting together an application. So if you're in a region that wants to be a part of an application for some fellows in a fellow in your region to work in concert with AMCC, please send me and David a note. That seems like a very cool opportunity. So we have the AMCC update that goes out, this 30-minute weekly call, which if you're on it and you're on it, you know that some of these calls we have a round robin, others we have discussion, short presentation and Q&A. And today is one of those presentation days where as we normally focus on one of the 6 parts of a thriving regional manufacturing ecosystem, we call it the Big 6. And today is no exception. We're talking workforce in manufacturing today, and more specifically apprenticeships, and more specifically still diversity in manufacturing apprenticeships, which is so important to sustainable development in America. We can't thrive as a nation toward a sustainable society unless we tap into all of our human capital. And so we are fortunate to have with us Jobs for the Future, JFF, Associate Director Melissa MacGregor, who has a strong background in apprenticeships at JFF, and before that, managing community college apprenticeship programs. Melissa, thanks for being on and sharing what you have here on apprenticeships.
Thanks so much, David. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm going to share my screen and put up a little presentation on Idea M, which is what we're calling our project, which is improving diversity and equity in apprenticeships for manufacturing. So again, my name is Melissa MacGregor. I'm with Jobs for the Future. If you are not familiar with Jobs for the Future, I encourage you to look us up. We have tons of resources. We are a national nonprofit that sits at the intersection of education and workforce. And so apprenticeship fits very nicely right there in the middle of education and workforce, because it's one of those kind of transition initiatives. And our mission is to achieve equitable economic advancement for all. So a little bit about the Idea M project. We're a DOL funded industry intermediary. And so all of our services are free. The Department of Labor is paying us, so you don't have to pay us. We're supporting the manufacturing industry. So in terms of everything that Matt just said about, supporting and bolstering the manufacturing industry, Registered Apprenticeship is a proven, structured strategy for recruiting, for developing talent, developing existing talent that you already have, retaining talent, basically because of all the supports that are built into Registered Apprenticeship program. And this deck isn't really about providing a sort of a Registered Apprenticeship 101, but I can certainly go over anything if you have questions about what Registered Apprenticeship is, how it operates, or how it could fit into your company. And we can talk about that, or you can request some support. I have a QR code at the end of the deck where you can fill out our technical assistance form. We've supported employers and other Registered Apprenticeship program sponsors in establishing new programs since 2016, specifically in manufacturing. And here you can see just a handful of the companies that we've supported. This is our vision, right? So the manufacturing industry is one that could use some support in understanding ways to diversify in order to more equitably represent the communities in which companies operate. So statistically across all occupations, and this is across all occupations, not just manufacturing, women make up less than 15% of apprentices, and only 7% of apprentices are Black. So it's just one of those facts that white men are significantly overrepresented in the apprentice population. And we know that this industry can become more inclusive. And so that's kind of our vision. And I have some statistics to kind of like just take a snapshot of this DEIA. You can see that this is from 2010 to 2019. 10 years ago, it was 81% white. Now it's 76% white, which is still significantly overrepresented. And we just need to improve that a little bit. Our mission. So you can see here that we support manufacturers in developing registered apprenticeship programs that provide career opportunities to individuals from all backgrounds. And we do this by helping companies and organizations to partner and collaborate and organize in order to design and develop registered apprenticeship programs, with equitable recruiting strategies, or just making small changes to the internal culture of the company to be more inclusive of all people. Our approach to this is to raise awareness about apprenticeship as a solution to the talent shortage, and through coaching and technical assistance, we can guide employers through the process of establishing, designing, registering. You might have a program that acts like an apprenticeship program, but it's just not registered. We can support you through that process. I know it's a little convoluted and sometimes often confusing about how to register a program. And as an industry intermediary, we're here to support that and make it a smooth process for you. Here's our team. So you can see me, I'm here on this slide. Also Becky Caldwell, who I think is on the call today. She is our senior manager and works with our partners in some of our communities. And she's an excellent coach in helping to get programs established. You can also see Claire, who's our manager and works with distributing incentive funding to the field, and Deb and Rachel, who support our program as well. And we do this with partners, right? So we have some excellent partners who help us in this work. Some of our DEIA partners include Women in Manufacturing, and they have a ton of videos. They have a YouTube channel where you can download some videos to support you in your recruiting efforts. And we also have Chicago Women in Trades who can help you and do some kind of one-on-one coaching with you in order to establish a more equitable recruiting pipeline. And then Donna Linhoff and Associates, you see here, this one is our legal team. So this is a team of lawyers who can support any EEO policies at your company. And also a registered apprenticeship program requires an affirmative action plan if you have 5 or more apprentices in one location. And so Donna and her team can help you build that. Excuse me. There's also a affirmative action plan builder on the Department of Labor website. We can help you with more kind of realistic on, boots on the ground things that need to happen to support your equitable recruiting practices. And then you can see we work here with a couple of different union institutions. We've got the Workforce Development Institute, WDI, out of Michigan, and KDP, the Keystone Development Partnership, out of Pennsylvania. And then also Stu Bass, he's usually on these calls. He's not here today, but he owns and is the chief person from Progress Works. And we also work with MACNY, which is the Manufacturers Association of Central New York. They are a group sponsor and they operate in New York. And then we have Sherpa Management Solutions, and this is an expert in the field who can support kind of the types of employers who are establishing apprenticeship across a variety of states. If you have multiple locations, it can get choppy where there's different rules in different states, and we have someone who can support that and kind of walk you through and do some hand holding and navigating of that landscape. So some of the things that we can help you with in terms of setting up your apprenticeship program are that we can get a program developed and registered. Like I said before, if you need just registration support, we're here to help. We can help you align related technical instruction. So every apprenticeship program has to have these classroom hours that are required. And, we can help you partner with local providers, or we can help you design a program internally. And we have some knowledge of some national programs that are available online. There's so much flexibility with apprenticeships. A lot of people don't realize how flexible they are. We can help you with their EEO requirements and compliance, as I talked about with Donna and her team. We can help you with diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, and this could be within your recruiting or within sort of internal company culture types of changes that can be made to create a more inclusive environment. And then we have financial support. So we support the development of programs through incentive funding. This is awarded, we have an annual pot of money that we can award that is up to $30,000 per program. And we have, we award this on a per apprentice basis. So you can get $500 per apprentice, or if it is an apprentice from one of our underrepresented populations, $2,000 per apprentice. So lots of support is available. This is a QR code that just goes to our Idea M webpage. So if you want to check us out online, please do. But I have another QR code on this next and final slide. And I'm just going to keep it up here for one more second in case anybody does want to download our webpage. And then this is the QR code that I would encourage you to click on to request hands-on support. So this leads you directly to our TA form, and you can have us just talk to you about how to fit apprenticeship into your company, do things that can support your diversity initiatives. There's lots of support available, and any of the things that we do are 100% free to you. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and take down the presentation and open the floor for questions.
Oh, Melissa, that's great. I'm sure you got everybody's attention when you said free.
Free.
So that's awesome.
We'll give you money.
Yeah, exactly. Can you tell us, so we have a lot of folks on this call that, are leading in regions and are connected to a lot of manufacturers. Can you tell us a story about a place where you have been, how you started it up and wove into a regional set of manufacturers, with apprenticeship programs? I think maybe that could add some value so people can see the on-ramp, for bringing in your assistance. Yeah.
Gosh, that's a really good question, Matt. And I appreciate the question. And I'm going to try to put somebody on the spot right now.
That's what we do here, Melissa.
I know, cool. We do that.
You fit right in. Yeah.
Yeah. My colleague Becky is on the call. And I have to tell you that she's been with this project for a lot longer than I have. And she's a lot closer to the action on the ground. And I'm sometimes often sort of stuck behind the scenes doing, invoicing and paperwork and some of the requirements of directing the program. But Becky works directly with sites. I can tell you of a particular kind of, companies who have come forward, and I've kind of walked them through the program, but it's not maybe as rich as some of the stories that Becky might have where it's more of a regional effort. So Becky, do you mind if you have a story at your fingertips? And if not, I'll talk about maybe either Marine Max or Cushman Wakefield or one of those.
Well, one of the biggest efforts we've had has been with John Deere. It's been an ongoing relationship, and they set up designed their own apprenticeship to help their technicians repair their equipment. But that was John Deere nationally. What they did then is set it out there for their dealers to adopt. And what we've done is work with dealers across the country in at least probably 8 different states to help those dealers set up apprenticeship programs. So sometimes we're very sector focused or industry focused. We have one right now where we helped 4 different lumber companies develop a saw filer occupation for the people that work on the saw filing occupation, and that's in the process of being registered right now, and it'll be rolled out after that. So there's already people enrolled getting ready for that apprenticeship. So we've helped, as Melissa said, we've helped individual companies. I work with a pharmaceutical company in New Jersey that had learned about apprenticeship, and we started from scratch and got that one going, and some national companies as well. So, and as Melissa said, we really do try to connect those companies with local partners, with their local workforce board, with the local economic development group. Any kind of local resources are really helpful to those companies. So that we think that's really important. And the local community college, of course, which is usually involved with the related training. So
I can also tell you that there was a group of people that reached out to us in in Oregon, my apologies. They were sort of already kind of a formed group. They had their, the high school involved, and they wanted to set up a youth apprenticeship program that involved the high schools, kind of a pipeline of talent directly from the high school into these companies. And it was a consortium of a few manufacturers that originally included Intel, Gyra Semiconductor, Tosa Quartz, Corva. It was a group of manufacturers, and they basically knew that they wanted to get an apprenticeship program started, but they just didn't know how. And so the beauty of that particular program was that they kind of had their partnerships together. They knew that this was their goal, and so they were very, very collaborative in starting this apprenticeship program. And we started kind of with a very basic occupation in manufacturing technician. I think that was it.
Yeah, Melissa, yes, it's great to hear that you were attracted to groups that were already formed, because I see, with all of these, bottom-up ecosystem interventions by federal government, programs, those coalitions are already put together, which is a great advantage. And I see Hiwa Gebremanian hands up. She honchos one of those from the Department of Defense, the Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program, and there are already 17 manufacturing communities designated by DoD to strengthen manufacturing that this could fit right in. And they have a competition out right now for more regions to get into the game. So let me turn it over to Hiwat for a question. I see her hand up.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, exactly, Matt. I couldn't say it better. Yeah, so as Matt said, some of our manufacturing communities, actually all, are undertaking different types of workforce development activities, and apprenticeship or internship program development is one of the core activities for some of them. For example, so far they report over 80 apprenticeship programs already developed, registered or not. That's another question. So maybe that's where you guys can come in as well. So when they want to connect with you, what would be the best approach? Who would you like to reach out to you? And next steps, just wanting to understand the process here.
So yes, I'm going to drop my email address in the chat. You can feel free to reach out directly to me. Also, if you had an opportunity to capture that QR code that I put up a minute ago, you can fill out our TA form. But yeah, since you're part of this group and you're one of the BFFs of Matt and David, then just go ahead and reach out directly to, and Becky put her contact information here as well. So just reach out to us and we'll have a more personal conversation about your specific needs, and we'll help you get launched.
Great, thank you.
I noticed that somebody asked about the MEP network. We've really nurtured that relationship over the last year or so. And we, as Melissa mentioned, we give out incentive funding every year. We get a pot of money from the Department of Labor, and five of the MEPs this year applied and got money for incentive funding to support their apprenticeship program. So we were really excited about that.
Sarah Lee's got a question. Sarah?
Got a couple. We've got a Good Jobs Challenge in Washington State. Are you working with any of those folks?
Yes, so JFF is broader than just our project, and we also have a Good Jobs Challenge. I can certainly connect you with some of those, but the Good Jobs Challenge is about improving jobs. And I think that to a large extent, apprenticeship is doing the same thing. Apprenticeship, has all the markers of a quality job. Some of the job quality markers are about, wages and compensation, and that's a requirement. This idea of progressive wage increases and, agency and culture, developing this learning environment and a way for a person to progress along a set of competencies to gain proficiencies in a structured environment. And then, structure is another job quality marker where, you're talking about what are the pathways, how do you advance within the company. So several of those things, apprenticeships can support. And so we're sort of hand in hand with the Good Jobs Challenge in trying to create quality jobs in both apprenticeships and outside of apprenticeship.
So one more question. One of the things that is really important in Washington State is working with the unions and the apprenticeship things. I mean, there's a lot of complex issues. Do you have any, are you working with anybody, any of the unions? Are you getting some traction there?
So I'll tell you that JFF was part of a landscape analysis for Washington State, and it was basically I think it was the community and technical colleges,
SBCTC.
SBCTC.
Are you impressed? Just rolled off my tongue.
Yes. So we did a landscape analysis for them about the state of apprenticeships in Washington, and the unions really have it kind of tied down there, and that's fine. It's fine. It's just going to be a matter of sort of like figuring that out and working very closely with the union partnerships, because they have these JATC training centers where all the training takes place, which is outside of colleges, and that's fine. So if you would like to have kind of a deeper conversation about your state and getting involved in in apprenticeships with the Good Jobs Challenge in Washington State, I'd love to have a conversation.
Cool. And we also have partners on our project, and we work with external partners, and 4 of our partners are AFL affiliated. So we have a really good union representation on our own group who have really deep knowledge about it and how to work with the unions.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, that's a great question. If you guys check out the chat, so David dropped in there, access to the slides. It's and the Friday update. It's on our website there. Thanks for putting that in there. And our BFF from EDA, Tori Brown, put in there links to the Good Jobs Challenge, JFF's work there, and a blog on their efforts. So thanks for doing that, Tori. And, Melissa and Becky, every one of these, bottom-up federal interventions that we're talking about applies here, right? So it was great. Hiwat, awesome question, about the Defense Manufacturing Community support programs, but there's also the manufacturing-related Build Back Better regional challenge. We just engaged with RTI about the 17 of those. Each one of those ought to be, regions that we explore, the T-bed, regions, all of the communities of practice the EDA has that has manufacturing themes are, involved there are all candidates. So I can see you guys, continuing to engage with David and I and the AMCC network here on identifying places, where it makes the most sense. Where we have these AMCC roadshows that we're going around the country, talking in person with regional manufacturing leaders. And so having you guys participate in those roadshows to offer up whatever you can seems to me like low-hanging fruit. So looking forward to continuing that discussion. Nancy Gilbert dropped in here a question. Are there examples where JFF is seeing strong inroads being made by women, minorities, and other underrepresented groups in manufacturing?
Yes. Yes, there's actually lots of examples. I would point you to any of the programs that are working under Chicago Women in Trades. There is a group called Women in Manufacturing, and I would love to just drop their YouTube channel into the chat because they have a strong YouTube channel filled with all kinds of videos, and they all feature women who are working in manufacturing. And I just need a minute to find it if you did.
That's great. And Becky dropped in a TA form. Becky, did you want to speak to that?
That is the one that Melissa gave the QR code, but if you just want to follow the link, you're welcome to fill it out, or just welcome to email us. And I will say, if you guys, anytime you guys bring these groups together, like the Defense Network, we're happy just to get on and talk about apprenticeship in general. It doesn't have to be our project. We're happy just to support the ecosystem and just exploring this model and the resources that are out there, because there's absolutely a ton of resources, and it's the time to tell your people, do it now, because there's so much money and support out there, and who knows how long it'll last. We hope it lasts forever, but you never know.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks. And Melissa, and Melissa, I saw you drop that into the chat. So if folks want to grab that, it's there. And we're at the top of the hour. Any other announcements by any BFFs or any regions before we get off? Always want to throw that out there if there's something that somebody wants to speak up to. Okay, otherwise, great. Wow, thank you all. Becky, Melissa, great to have you guys on, and hope everyone has a great week. Thanks so much.